What is up, YouTube? Andrew over here at Fury Motors in Stillwater coming at you with another good car review today. Today we're going to be taking a look at a 2018 Dodge Challenger SXT. We're going to start off with a guided tour of the interior and the exterior, and then later on in the video we are going to take a test drive, so stick around for that. If you see anything you like in the video, please consider hitting that subscribe button, giving it a like, and leave a comment down below. Alright, so here she is, the 2018 Challenger SXT. This vehicle has mostly just standard equipment. It has the indigo blue paint, black interior. It has the 3.6 liter V6 and the 8-speed auto trans. Like I said, all the standard equipment. And then as far as the optional equipment, this one only comes equipped with the cold weather group, which is the heated front seats, the heated steering wheel, and then the 180 amp alternator. So the MSRP price is $28.5 on this one. So typically I like vehicles that are a little bit better equipped. Vehicles with leather usually catch my attention. Vehicles with V8s typically catch my attention. But I had a viewer and a subscriber, I believe. He commented and wanted to have me review this vehicle or one like it. So I said, what the heck, I'll give it a go. Give you a little bit of feedback. So the front end is obviously just gorgeous. The headlights, you know, the quad headlights, 2 on each side with the halos. I mean, it just looks mean. Regardless of the fact that it is a SXT and it only has a V6, it still has that really nice sharp front end. It looks really aggressive. You know, it doesn't pack quite a punch what the V8s do, but that's all right for some people. It hits a better price point. It's a lot more affordable. The monthly payments are a lot lower, and you can get some of that, you know, looking good without the huge penalty to your budget, which is great. It does come standard with the backup camera as well as a touchscreen on the interior, which is nice. I really like that they included that. Not a huge fan of these wheels. I mean, they're pretty basic. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just, you know, maybe a little bit smaller than I would have liked to see them throw on there. They are 18s, which is plenty big. I mean, that's what's on my car. Maybe a lower profile tire might have been a little bit nicer looking on it. So now we're going to pop the hood and check out this 3.6 liter V6. Puts out in the ballpark of 300 horsepower, so plenty for this size vehicle. You know, like I said, it's the smallest motor that is offered for the vehicle, so it wouldn't be my pick, but you get a lot better gas mileage using a V6 versus the 8 or the supercharged 8 in the Hellcat. So, I mean, it's a lot more practical for daily driving. You know, if you're going to drive this thing 365 days a year, it's just going to save you some money on gas, which is nice. Now let's take a look at the interior. Actually, one of the finer points of this vehicle, I would say, is the interior. Seems like it has pretty nice interior materials. You know, it's not the nicest interior, but I mean, for the price point, it does feel pretty nice. I really like what they did with the gauges on this one, as well as this kind of almost stainless steel looking trim pieces through here, followed through to the area around the shift knob and the cup holders, just make it look really sharp. I'm going to start it up so I can move the wheel here for you so we can just take a look at the gauges. Take notice of the steering wheel, Dodge badge in the middle. Feels really nice. It's I believe it's leather wrapped. It's got the nice little handles here on 9 and 3. I'm not really sure what they're called, but my car has them, so if you're, you know, doing cornering and stuff, you have good control on both sides. So that's nice. It does have plenty of steering wheel controls. You can control the menu with these, and then the cruise control stuff over here. It does have the audio control, so you got your change your radio station over here, or skip a song or whatever, and then you got the volume controls on this side. Like I was mentioning about the gauges, it does carry that kind of sports car looking gauges. Speedometer goes up to 160. Who knows if it can get there? I've never tried with the V6 Challenger, and I guess I haven't either for the V8, but I'm sure it could do well into the 120 plus range for sure. Of course, you got your lighting group over there. Automatic headlights, that's nice, so you don't have to like turn them off and on every time you get in and out. Trunk button over there. This has the auto 8-speed, so it shifts pretty well. Coupled with the 300 horse V6, it moves pretty well, and we'll test it out later in the driving portion of the video. Now we're gonna take a little. Oh yeah, and it also has the push to start, which is cool. It has the little bit smaller, not the 8.4 inch, but I think it's like pretty sure it's a 7 inch that comes Yep, 7-inch touchscreen radio. Does not have satellite radio. It would show up here if it had satellite, so it just says AM and FM. But of course you can hook up through Bluetooth, you know, your media device, auxiliary, whatever, you know, your iPhone or your Droid or whatever you use for your audio. And then like I did mention, it does have the cold weather group, so you got heated wheel, heated seats for the driver and the passenger, which is excellent in the north. I'm in Minnesota, so it's almost a need to have on a new vehicle for me. I don't know what everybody else thinks about the cold weather group, but I think it's really nice to have that. Like I said, you can hook up your phone, you can make calls through here, you know, get your phone book all loaded up and make calls, which is convenient. You can go hands-free in the vehicle, and then just some settings. So yeah, it is nice to have the touchscreen in here. Of course, then if I throw it in reverse, it should throw me right into the backup camera, so that's nice to have a backup camera. For a vehicle that's not even 30 grand, to have a touchscreen and a backup camera, I think is on point for Dodge. I think that was really important that they include that as standard equipment, so I'm really glad that they did that. Also, if you look down here, put that thing in sport, just a really simple and clean shift knob, and then you can throw it into manual shifting mode if you just pop it over when you're in drive. A little bit of room here with your USB and auxiliary inputs, so you can charge or, you know, plug your phone in for music or whatever. Another thing to note is I really like these seats. Although they are only cloth, and I do prefer leather seats, they have a pretty nice pattern on them. They're pretty comfortable. They have pretty aggressive bolsters, so you're kind of hugged on all sides when you're cornering and stuff. So I mean, they have a pretty good feel to them. You know, they don't feel super cheap, and they're fairly soft. So I like that. It's comfortable enough, and I got my heated seat on right now, and it's nice and warm for me. So that's really nice. So now if I want to let a passenger in here, I just have to pop the seatbelt out of there, and then I press this button and I slide it down. So where the seat I have it right now, there's like barely any leg room. So if you have big passengers, probably don't get a Challenger because the back seat is pretty small. And then you got a cup holders back there in the middle / armrest. It does have the adjustable lumbar, electronic lumbar support, and then as well as you can adjust the seat with the powered seat there. And then you can open the trunk here with this button as long as the vehicle is unlocked. A fair amount of storage space here in the back, some pretty nice floor mats. They're not those flimsy garbage ones you can get in some of those foreign cars, so that's nice. Pretty much the same here on the passenger side. Automatic window over here. This one does have a manual lever for the passenger seat down here. Also note, little Challenger badge here in the vent, so that's pretty clean. Got a little bit of space for your book and your drive mode supplements, your wheel locks so they don't steal your wheels, all that good stuff. A little bit extra room in there. Alright, if you're still with me, thanks for hanging around. This is going to be the test drive portion of the video. I'm going to go cruise around a little bit and give you my feedback on how the vehicle drives out on the road. And I'm going to put it in sport because that's how I do things around here. I really don't like to drive with a car that has sport without sport mode. Alright, so I got up to, you know, about 50 miles per hour fairly quickly. I didn't really step into it that hard, but I gave her a little bit, and like I said, I'm in sport mode, so be able to keep the revving up a little bit higher in the RPMs to keep me moving pretty quickly here. It is a Challenger, right? So you are looking for the performance to some degree. I mean, if you're looking at this car, it's like maybe you're not looking for the performance as the pinnacle of the reason why you're buying the vehicle, but it's like it is a Challenger, so you still want to be able to move pretty well with it. And I guess when you put this V6 in sport mode, it actually kind of impresses me. You know, what they can do with the revving and the shifting and everything, because, I mean, a 300 horse V6 with an 8-speed auto, I mean, you have some options here of what you can do. You know, keep it up in the RPM range, shift quickly, you know what I mean? It'll hang with some of these cars you would think it might not hang with, which is kind of what you're looking for. It's on an affordable budget. You know what I mean? The monthly payment for this would be quite a bit lower than what you'd pay for, you know, your comparable RT, your 392 Scat Pack, your Hellcat payment. The Dodge Challenger V6 SXT with the 8-speed auto isn't a Dodge. You would think, oh, a V6 muscle car, you know, that could be kind of boring, or what's the point of buying that, you know what I mean? Then you're just looking like a poser, or whatever type of, you know, things haters are going to say, right? Haters are going to say whatever they want, right? They'd probably hate on you if you had a V8 too, just because they're jealous, right? And that's what you'll get. You'll get a little bit of hate if you drive a V6 muscle car, whether that be a Mustang, whether that be a Challenger, whether that be a V6 Camaro. I mean, any of the big three, really. If you drive a V6 version, you're going to get those V8 enthusiasts who are just going to hate, you know? And it is what it is, right? I mean, there's a car for everybody, right? You know, this car is for somebody who is on a little bit tighter of a budget, but still wants to ball out a little bit, you know? Whereas, you know, the guy who's going to spend twice as much on his monthly payments for his Challenger RT, you know, wouldn't even consider buying one of these, right? I will say, though, an SXT versus a GT, I wouldn't see the point. Now, coming from a Minnesota boy's perspective, we get snow practically 6 months out of the year. The perks of buying a SXT over a GT anywhere in the northern United States, I don't see it. I think you should buy a GT, which is all-wheel drive, a V6 version of the Challenger. That would be my suggestion, would be to buy that. If you're looking to buy a cheaper Challenger and you live in an area that has kind of, you know, crappier weather, you get a lot of snow or slush, rain, whatever, it's like, just opt for the all-wheel drive. You know, it'll cost you a couple bucks more, but the handling will be better in crappier weather, and especially if you're in snow. Like, I just don't think I would buy this car tailored towards my needs. This vehicle does not meet my needs personally. I mean, it has a lot of good things going for it, but personally, this would not be my choice of Challenger. I mean, the blue is a pretty color. It's pretty unique. You won't see a lot of Challengers or cars in general in this color blue. So if you're looking for something unique, it checks the box there, which is, I mean, it's like you gotta be a little unique, right? If you're just gonna drive something everybody else has, then what's the point of you know, trying to buy a cool car like this? It's like, to stand out, like, it has to be to some degree to stand out, right? Maybe that's just my perspective. And everybody's entitled to their opinion about things. You put it in sport mode and it'll move pretty well, and I'm going to test that out here a little bit right now. So yeah, that was like a 0 to 65 run, and I got there in pretty good time. I mean, obviously a V8 would be faster, right? I mean, that just kind of goes without saying. But as far as like handling goes, Challengers in general don't really handle that well. I mean, if you're looking to, you know, kind of do a lot of like back roads, cornering, handling, a lot of like hairpins and stuff like that, probably opt for a different vehicle altogether. You know, big FCA cars like, you know, Dodge Charger, Dodge Challenger, they've never been known for great handling, but they have been known for good performance. And I think that's why everybody gravitates towards them, or a lot of people do anyways. They look aggressive as hell, you know what I mean? Driving a Challenger or Charger, it's like everybody knows what it is. You know, they'll see you driving this thing, and half of them won't even know it's a V6, so what the heck? Now, I don't think I'd really be able to break these wheels loose with a V6 on dry pavement, but I'm sure you could break them loose pretty easily in inclement weather, whether that be rain or snow or whatever, but probably not what this car was designed for anyways, with a V6 anyways. I guess I just keep coming back to the fact that it's a V6 because when you think Challenger or Charger, you think V8, right? It's like, it's an American muscle car. You just automatically assume it's a V8. And a lot of people have been opting for V6s, and the gas mileage improvements and the cheaper payments are where it's at, you know, and especially if you got it in the GT trim. This one's not, this one's rear-wheel drive, but if you got a GT, I could definitely see where the market is for that, at least living in the north, you know, all-wheel drive Challenger, you could drive that 365, no worries. I mean, come on, that's pretty awesome. I guess my overall verdict is that this isn't the vehicle that I would personally like to drive. It just doesn't have quite the performance that I'd be looking for. If I was going to spend a bunch of money and buy a Challenger, I would opt for at least a 5.7 Hemi, preferably with active exhaust. And that's just kind of who I am as a car enthusiast, you know. Maybe back in the day when I cared less about performance, I'd just throw some 12s in the back and just pound this thing out with some good audio equipment, but I'm really not at that point in my life anymore, and now I'm kind of just more towards performance. So I would definitely just opt for a RT or a Scat Pack Challenger or Charger, or, you know, Hellcat would be ideal. Just, you know, get it over with and just do some crazy burnouts and just make some noise. I think that's one part that I am kind of dissatisfied with when it comes to a V6 Challenger, is the fact that it's not noisy. You know what I mean? I want to step into a Challenger and make some noise and hear that rumble of the exhaust, because I just like noise when it comes to, you know, a nice sports car or muscle car or whatever. It's like I want it to be able to make some noise, and this one just doesn't do it. And even if you put like a catback or custom mufflers on it, I still don't think it would make the right sound that you might be looking for. So if you're anything like me, you'd probably just opt for the V8 and get it over with. But if you don't really care about most of the stuff that I've been talking about during the test drive, I mean, SXT is your boy. Challenger GT would be just fine for you. So, and there's a ton of people who are like that, because we sell a lot of them. We sell plenty of GTs and SXTs, and you know, there's a market for every car, right? They wouldn't, you know, mass produce and sell a bunch of them if people weren't enjoying them, if they weren't a good fit for what people are looking for. So I guess to each their own is what I'm saying about that. You know, just because I like a V8 muscle car doesn't mean you need to like a V8 muscle car. I mean, everybody has their opinion about what's going to be the best thing for them. And I mean, there's plenty of people who just buy these V6 Challengers just for kind of like the status and just to look cool, and then they throw some sweet wheels on it, which is cool. You know what I mean? If that's your thing, do it. Don't let anybody tell you that's not cool or whatever. You know what I mean? Basically, just like be true to yourself and like enjoy what you enjoy. Don't let people like ruin it for you by saying, oh, that's not cool, or oh, you know, it's just a V6 muscle car. It's like, own it. You know what I mean? If that's what you're looking for, and if that's what suits your needs best, don't let anybody tell you that you're doing it wrong, or, you know, whatever. Just be yourself and drive the vehicle and be proud to own it, and don't try to back away from the haters and all the people who are spewing the venom, because, you know, those people are just kind of losers anyways. You know, they're not doing their thing. They just want to troll you just to feel better about themselves, like the bullies back in school, and nobody likes those people anyways. If you liked anything in the video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, leave a comment below of what you think of the vehicle, as well as what you thought of my review of it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Have a fantastic day.